Hey, Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Foot of Eagles Now. Let's jump in the latest Eagles news and rumors here on a Thursday. And there's some juicy stuff in terms of updates on Deshaun Watson coming up in just a couple of minutes. First, we begin with Todd McShay's latest mock draft. Yes, I always am very interested to see what Todd McShay has to say about where the Eagles will be picking or who the Eagles will pick. Will they stay put? Will they trade up? Will they trade down? And so I want to share my thoughts on his mock with you guys here today. So, of course, he released his new mock yesterday. I think it's his mock draft. Is it 2.0 or 3.0? Either way, I'd prefer McShay over Kiper. Now, Kiper's right about a lot of stuff. He was right about Josh Allen and Justin Herbert, for instance. Those were his guys in the draft a couple of years ago. But McShay has a special place in my heart. Met him in an elevator once back at the University of Texas at the stadium. I was going to call the game for the for Baylor. Nice guy. Shook hands, talked draft briefly, and then moved on. So I'm a McShay guy, but that's a personal thing. But he does, of course, have a pretty good mock draft this year, and I think that, at least this time, and I think that the fact that he has Eagles staying put at all three draft picks makes me even more excited. So, let's go through them all, right? Three of them. First pick, 15 overall, he takes Nakobe Dean, the inside linebacker, out of UGA. Now, the reasoning, because Devin Lloyd was already gone, and so you take the next best linebacker in Dean, a guy that I like, not as much as Lloyd, but still would be a great pick for Philadelphia at middle linebacker. McShay's thoughts, though, throw them up on the screen. Quote, the Eagles have a chance to get a whole lot better in a short period of time here. This is their first of 3 picks in the next 5. Buckle up, Philly fans. Let's get started with Dean, who's my number 6 prospect. He does it all, from utilizing his speed and sideline-to-sideline range to match with running backs in coverage, to blitzing through gaps and pressuring quarterbacks, to stopping the run and wrapping up ball carriers. His motor never stops, and his instincts make him a true game breaker, end quote. And I agree with everything that he said. My problem with Dean versus Lloyd is Dean is a little bit smaller. Lloyd has more of that Fred Warner-type body, that Fred Warner frame, so you lose a little bit of sideline speed, but I think overall is a little bit better in run support and filling in gaps, and I kind of like that in the National Football League. Again, this is going to be a up to Howie, who do you like more? If both are available, I would go Lloyd, but of course if Lloyd is gone, then Dean is like a 1B to the 1A that is Devin Lloyd. Naturally, any linebacker to play in the middle would be an upgrade of what the Eagles have right now. They weren't terrible last year. I sung the praises of TJ Edwards and Alex Singleton at times, and Sean Bradley I think is up and coming, and obviously Davion Taylor when healthy, but you need an actual star. Like, let's get an actual star middle linebacker. McShay's thinking the way that I am. I love the idea of getting one at number 15. Now, I'm excited for the NFL Draft. You guys should be excited too. I'm excited to show you the next pick here from Todd McShay, but first, give this video a thumbs up if you guys are pumped for the draft. Let's get 1,200 likes today. That's the goal for today. 1,200 likes here, 25,000 subscribers. We're going to have, 10,000 views here on this video plus. Give this video a thumbs up. Let's break 1,200. The bosses think we can't get more than 1,200. If you want to prove them wrong, give this video a thumbs up right now. All right, next pick in 16 overall, right after it. How about another UGA player? This time one we haven't talked about a lot on the channel, but one who is still very, very good. Trayvon Walker, the defensive end, the pass rusher out of Georgia. So back-to-back picks for the National Championship defense. Could be a lot worse. Here's what McShay's thoughts on it. Quote, an NFL team has never taken college teammates with back-to-back picks, but the Eagles' pass rush was atrocious, and Walker is incredibly disruptive. Philadelphia's 29 sacks were 31st in the NFL last season. Derek Barnett's a free agent, and Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham are both north of 30 years old. Plus, Graham is returning from an Achilles injury. Walker, meanwhile, is a power-based edge rusher who keeps getting better, and it's time to stock up the pass rush cupboard a bit, end quote. Now, the problem with Walker is you look at his stats, and they weren't necessarily fantastic last season. 37 tackles, only 6 sacks, right? So the expectation is you can build him into a star pass rusher. You're not getting the Karlaftis or Jabo double-digit numbers that I think a lot of us want in Philadelphia. But still, McShay is 100% right that this defensive line needs a lot of help. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, Josh Sweat is still there, and I like Teron Jackson, and Brandon Graham returns. All true, but you should always be bolstering the pass rush. That's why the Eagles were so good in 2017 during the Super Bowl year. They had one of the best defensive lines in football. Rebuild that, do it here with first-round draft picks. Final pick here, number 19 overall. This is a personal favorite of producer Trey, who went to Arkansas. It is Arkansas wide receiver Treylon Burks, who is fantastic. And I was asking Trey about this in our pre-show meeting. Tell me about this guy, because I've watched a lot of Treylon Burks highlights. He sent me a couple, loves this guy, and he thinks he'd be a fantastic pairing with Devontae Smith. So we'll defer to Trey on this one. Here's McShay's thought on Burks. I like the first quote here. Quote, Burks is 6'7" size, great hands, and a wide catch radius. He'd be a mismatch in the slot for Coach Nick Sirianni, and has the ability to track on extra yards after the catch with smooth acceleration upfield. Burks, Nakobe Dean, and Trayvon Walker make for a great draft class, end quote. I don't hate this. Now, I would rather go corner because I think corner's a little bit more of a need. And again, my expectation is you go wide receiver Mike Williams in free agency. But if you don't go Mike Williams in free agency, you don't go wide receiver in free agency, then you got to get one early, and Burks, I think, makes a lot of sense. The numbers are insane. Again, playing at Arkansas, and you probably didn't watch a lot of Arkansas games last year, despite the fact they were a lot better than they had been in the SEC. Over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, and the size is key here. 6'3". That's what you want. I don't know. You talk about Olave, you talk about Wilson, you talk about Mechie, and Jameson Williams. They're not big targets, right? And I think Philadelphia needs a big target, and they're not bad. I mean, Ridley, again, small guy, trade over from the Falcons, I think still would be great. But a big physical target, what you wanted J.J. Arcega-Whiteside to be back in the day, is a fantastic move, and I'm starting to really fall in love with Burks after talking with Trey and obviously reading up on him via McShay. Ad break pin comment here. Which pick do you guys like the most out of all of them? I'm a Dean guy because I want a linebacker, so I will go Nakobe Dean, but I think all three are fantastic. Let me know which one you guys like the most down below right now. All right, moving on here to the latest Deshaun Watson update, which of course comes because more people on Twitter are talking about him than they have in the past couple of months, because there was a report saying Deshaun Watson and the trade rumors are heating up, and that he, according to ESPN, is eyeing the Bucs or the Vikings as a potential spot to land if and when he is traded this offseason. So naturally, we must update you on where the Eagles stand on the Deshaun Watson saga. Now, of course, a couple of things here. Deshaun Watson will have to waive his no trade clause. That's the first thing, and I think that's the idea of looking at the Bucs or the Tex or the Bucs or the Bucs or the Vikings. I don't know why I said Texans, Bucs or Vikings as a possible trade destination. But you'd have to like the place that he would go, waive his no trade clause, and then be able to be traded. Here was NJ.com on Deshaun Watson. We'll throw that up on the screen right now. Quote, according to ESPN NFL reporter Jeremy Fowler, Texans are looking to listen to offers for Deshaun Watson in March, around the time of the new league year. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Minnesota Vikings are two teams that Watson could be interested in joining. The Eagles were not mentioned. One source noted that Watson, who has a no-trade clause, is still early in the evaluation process, but he's looking for the right blend of offensive system, coaching, talent, and most importantly, the chance to win, Fowler said. That's all great. Fantastic. You gotta do what you gotta do, Deshaun Watson. Here's my question. How's Watson's legal cases going? Right? Any update on the 23, 24 active, open legal investigations into Deshaun Watson's sexual assault, right? Do we forget about those? Every time I read a Deshaun Watson thing, that's always what I do. I go, did we forget something here? Right? Is he going to be allowed to play in the National Football League? Is he going to be allowed to play this season? I don't know. I'm glad the Eagles were not mentioned in this one because you guys know I'm out on Watson. I really don't know how this guy's going to play in the NFL again unless all 23, 24 of those women drop their lawsuits, accept payment. I don't know what the whole deal would be, but I don't think it's going to happen. And so it's an update, but it's not one that matters for Philadelphia. If you want to trade for a quarterback, look elsewhere than Watson. Speaking of one, of course, would be Russell Wilson. Who would you guys rather have, Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson? Type RW down below for Russell Wilson. Type DW down below for Deshaun Watson. And while you're down there, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, as we have a mailbag video coming up tomorrow, which I've gathered a lot of questions for, a lot of subscribers for, and I think that it's going to be a good one, so be subscribed and be ready to go for that one. Also, the polos I keep mentioning this week are still up there and still ready to rock at chatsports.com/Eagles polo. Pick one up right now. I know you want one, right? This is day 3 of me talking about these. I think that the third time's a charm. I'm going to convince you to go ahead and pick up this 2-pack. Get the black one, you get the green one. I wear my Eagle polos golfing. I'm golfing with my roommate Will this weekend, and so I got to rock the Eagle polos when I'm out, shooting 67 on the links. Not really, it's more like 97, but either way. Pick up your Eagles polo right now, chatsports.com/Eagles polo. It'll be down below in the description box. All right, quickly here, running out of time, I want to mention a couple of cap changes, cap moves, and restructuring the Eagles can do to save some money. As you see on your screen right now, the Eagles have $24 million in cap space. That can become a lot more based on 3 moves. And I got to give credit to EaglesWire.com. They put together 3 cap fixes or restructurings to create almost, another $15 to $20 million that the Eagles can go ahead and add on to the 24 that they currently have. So, step 1 would be restructuring Darius Slay, which I think is basically a given with how great Darius Slay was this past season. What you can do is go ahead and give him a contract extension, push that money, spread it out a little bit, so it'll look like a lot of money, but in the end, it'll save you almost $11.5 million if you do it the way Eagles Wire showed, and I think that Philadelphia for sure is going to restructure Slay. It's the right thing to do. He's earned it. I know he's a little bit older than we would like, but pair him with a young cornerback, and the secondary is in good hands. Next, they have the Eagles restructuring Javon Hargrave's deal, which, of course, would save roughly $8.9 million, as based on the calculations of EagleWire.com. Hargrave really burst onto the scene at the beginning of the season and then got double-teamed more than any defensive tackle in the National Football League. Yes, more than Aaron Donald, and his numbers dipped a little bit, but still very productive. If you trade or let go of Fletcher Cox, you're going to need Hargrave right there. You have Milton Williams behind. restructuring his deal, giving him a little bit more money spread out is going to save you almost $9 million. And finally, restructuring, I think, the best right tackle in the National Football League, or one of the top 5, in Lane Johnson. If you restructure Lane Johnson's deal, you can save about $4.5 or $4.8 million in cap space, meaning that you're saving a ton of money. These are all staple players. Like, these are all guys that are going to be here for the next at least 3 to 5 years. In some cases, you expect Johnson to be there the next 4 or 5, right? So I am all for this. I think these are great moves, and I want to show, essentially, you guys that, yes, you have $24 million here, but a couple of little moves that don't involve cutting people, involve just restructuring deals, get you north of $35 million, and that's a lot of money to spend in free agency. Drop a like down below. Again, trying to get to 1,200 today. Help me out. If you would do all 3 steps, and I think everyone would. Like, why wouldn't you? We all like these players. Slay, Hargrave, Johnson. Give this video a thumbs up right now. All right, ultimate for today on our Eagles News and Rumor video. Make sure you guys are subscribed. I have a mailbag video coming up later on this weekend, either tomorrow or Saturday. I can't decide yet. I got some good questions, but if you want to ask some more, go down below. Use the hashtag Eagles, and of course, be subscribed, and I might pull one for your or for the mailbag video. So, ultimate for today. For the Eagles now. Thomas Mott signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.